everyone. Welcome to the Revolutionize podcast. I'm Peggy Caruso, owner of Life Coaching and Beyond. I'm an 8-time entrepreneur and author of 3 books, soon to be 4. The first 3 I have trademarked through the U.S. Trademark and Patent Office, and my 4th one will be released in the fall of 2019. So stay tuned for that. Every time we do a podcast, we have amazing guests, and I have a really amazing guest today. So I'm going to let her introduce herself and talk about a little bit about what she does. Hi, Sunny, and welcome.
Hi, Peggy. Thanks for having me today. Hi, everyone. My name is Sunny Istar. I'm a financial advisor and a CEO of Good Life Advisors, which is an insurance service agency in Los Angeles, California. And I'm a proud mom of twin boys, Jason and Matthew. Now they're 15. And I'm an author of many books, including Is Your Child a Money Master or a Money Monster? And right now, I just launched a YouTube channel called Money Master Kids with Sunny, the Eagle Mom. And I'm very proud to be a part of this movement in the world that make a difference in children's lives and everlasting impact.
I love that. That is super powerful. And you know me, and I do a lot of personal development and corporate coaching, and kids are a main focus for me. I actually started writing my books so I can start an orphanage and help children.
Wow.
And I teach success principles to children. So this is why I really am going to enjoy this interview, because we have a lot of the same thoughts on children. So start by telling everyone why you decided to write this book and get into this. Why is it so important to teach children at a young age about money?
Oh, yeah, it's a great question. Actually, because of my own upbringing, I grew up in a very tough family in a poor neighborhood in South Korea as the youngest of 4. As a young girl, I really struggled because my parents worked hard every day, but they barely met our family needs every day. So I decided early on that I would learn whatever I need to learn to become financially independent as early as possible. And none of my parents taught me anything about money management. So I went through a lot of difficult times, financially as a young adult. So because of my childhood upbringing, I decided early on that when I became a mother to my twin boys, Jason and Matthew, I would teach anything and everything about money and financial responsibility. And I believe that this is really important because our children need to learn how to thrive in life from a very young age, especially in this area of money management, because anything we don't manage, we eventually lose. Like, for example, if we don't manage health, we lose health. If we don't manage time, we lose time. And in the same way, if we don't manage money, we lose money. And somebody said that the difference between a garden and a jungle is management. So we as parents, I as a parent, I wanted to teach my kids how to manage the things in life, including finance, including money, so that instead of losing everything, instead of losing money or everything else in their life, I wanted them to conquer everything. I wanted them to learn, manage, control, and really enjoy everything in their life to the fullest.
That is amazing. And in my business here in corporate and personal development, I have a lot of parents, and they talk a lot about finances and children. And there's many, many parents who do not believe that it is important to teach them at a young age. They feel as though it's more important to just put money into an account for them for when they're older. Tell me your thoughts on that and why you disagree with that statement.
Because eventually now they are cute, right? They are in their, kindergarten, elementary school, middle school, and things like that. But they're not going to stay at that age forever. Eventually they have to grow up. They have to be an adult, to learn to face the real life issues like, making money, and paying the bills and paying off their school loan and things like that, invest and also prepare for their retirement. And if they don't know how to do that, if they don't know how to manage that, and then they're going to eventually lose even their own life. A lot of people commit suicide because they don't know what to do with their life. And we don't want our children to be in that situation. So it is really important that we empower them to learn all of this, to manage well, so that when they grow up, they can actually fulfill the purpose of their life and enjoy their life to the fullest in every aspect of their life, including finance. So why do we wait until they're in their late teens or 20s or 30s when I believe the stakes are high and the rewards are much harder to gain? Why not teaching them now when their brains are more receptive and flexible and they are willing to learn with a good attitude? Why not early? Some people ask me, like, when is the best time to teach kids about money? And my answer to them is, when is the best time to teach kids to ride a bike or to swim? I mean, the earlier the better, right? As early as possible, maybe ideally from the age of 2 or 3. In the same way, when it comes to teaching money, financial responsibility, a lot of parents think that they are not qualified to teach them about that. But my answer is, if you love your children, you are more than qualified. And you need to teach your children about money step by step, just like you teach them how to ride a bike. I believe that is the most important thing and most important gift that we can give to our children to really love and appreciate their life with all the essential tools and techniques and resources in place.
A lot of people would say that 2 or 3 is far too young to be teaching them about money. And I agree with you. I think that is a really good age. So can you give the audience maybe an example or two of what you would teach them at that age?
So, I agree with you because a lot of parents think the same way. Isn't 2 or 3-year-old too early to learn about money or to do chores or get paid and, allowance and things like that. But I learned that, brain experts actually believe the average human adult brain, weighs about 3 pounds, and 2 or 3-year-old kid brain is almost about 80% of an adult human brain. And in their brain, they have like billions of neurons, So what do they do with their brain? The brain is like a supercomputer that I heard that controls the body, right? Interprets information and governs intelligence, creativity, emotion, and memory, and so on. And even though our 2 or 3-year-old kids may look like just a toddler, but they have a superpower with their super brain inside of them that can actually do a lot of things. Like, as I just mentioned, they can interpret the information and they can actually use their brain to observe all of that good stuff into their subconscious mind, and they will use them later when they really need it as an adult or as a young adult. So it's really important to teach them all the essential life skills, including the financial life skills, as young as possible, as young as 2 or 3, because of their brain. And what you can do is teach them something simple. We don't want to bombard them with all these lectures about money, compound interest, right? No, we teach them step by step what to do with money and how to earn money, how to save money, how to invest, and how to share wisely and generously with other people. So, as a mom, when my kids were 2 years old, I began their money education. And what I did was I gave them simple chores to do, like folding socks, watering plants, or, watering the flowers, or raking leaves, empty the trash can, and something very simple, sweeping the floor. And what I did was I gave them, first of all, I love some compliments. I say, oh, great job. Thank you for helping mommy, and things like that. And also I gave them rewards. I call it commission, not allowance. I call it commission. So I gave them coins. First of all, I gave them $1 a week, right? And then I bought them a piggy bank, a small plastic, transparent, clear bank. And I showed them how to drop the coins into their bank. And I said, you are a money master, kid. You are very successful. You can do, I empower them with a lot of great compliments. And I actually grabbed their hands and I showed them how to put the money into their bank. And I said, this is your money. Right. So they learned those things. And then I did it every week with consistency. And then now my kids were now 3 or 4. They wanted to do more of that. So I eventually created Money Master Kids reward and incentive program to inspire them to work harder and earn more. And I help them to save money. So there is a step to take, one step at a time. But first, you get to show them what to do with money, because kids learn things from just watching and copying us. So it is really important to, create a system that can show them what to do with it. step by step.
I love that. And in my teaching success principles to children and in my book, Revolutionize Your Child's Life, I tell parents how important it is to whisper in your baby's ear when they're sleeping. And just like you said, you are successful. I think those things are very important because if you go back into time where a lot of people who financially struggled, they would have a lot of them would have a different concept on money.
Right.
And so they would teach their children limiting beliefs like money is the root of all evil.
Well, I totally agree with you 1,000% because a lot of adults don't know this. Money mastery begins with our thoughts. Children normally don't listen to adults, but, as I said earlier, they watch us and copy us all the time. Therefore, if they constantly hear like negative things about money, like what you just mentioned, like money is the root of evil and so on, they will subconsciously, develop a negative view of money, which in turn can create a poor money habits that can lead them to, becoming money monsters rather than money masters. So what I believe is, we get to be really careful about what we say, especially when kids are around, but say positive and healthy things about money. Like I often said to my kids, like there is enough money for everyone. And also said, the diligent people get richly rewarded and we become what we think about, or we become rich, not by stepping toes of other people, but by working hard at adding value to other people and things like that. So, inculcating this kind of positive attitude with the children is fundamental to helping them, develop good habits that can eventually make them what I call money masters and ultimately the masters of life.
That's really great. Do you also see the flip side, or what are your thoughts on parents who teach their children about money in the wrong way and they become maybe greedy or entitled? Do you see how your program could help eliminate that by starting when you're young?
A lot of kids are becoming money monsters, not because they want to, but because the creator of the money monsters are often the parents or grandparents, people who love them. But the problem is these parents give too much too soon to their children, even when they are not ready to receive it. Money easily given to children without work it's not a blessing, but I believe it's the root of all kinds of problems and, all kinds of disasters. So balance is very important. Instead of just giving and teaching them about money, but not really showing them the discipline that is needed to really have a good balance in life. That is not the way to go. So we teach them, we show them what to do with money in a very prudent and a very disciplined way. And also we need to walk our talk so that our children will follow our footsteps.
One of the things that I see in my coaching, whether it's the college student I have or the parents of the college student, is these parents who feel that it's important to pay for their child's college. And I don't want to get into controversy on that because if that's what you choose to do, that's okay. But in many, many cases, I see that is a disaster because they're still very immature and they don't understand the value of it and they don't have any skin in the game. But if you have them pay for their own college education and then, you can help them if they get stuck or you can help them down the road. What do you do with your children relative to college? Are they going to pay for their own?
Oh, yeah, that's a really good question. Well, first of all, you mentioned about, having a good money master mindset, like a good, thought about money and becoming successful. And one of the greatest gifts I believe God gave to me is to stay positive no matter what the situation, even in the difficult moment. So when I was absolutely broke, I didn't say I was broke. I just say I was overcoming a cash flow problem. So I help my kids to, just use like a positiveness and just humor and just happiness and joyful attitude, even in the difficult moment. So my kids, as I mentioned earlier, my kids began their money education when they were 2 years old. They learned about how to, earn money, first of all, through lots of chores and how to save money and invest and share wisely over the years, over a decade. And now they are 15. They are highly motivated, vision-driven, straight A honor students who know how to earn money and save money and invest money and also prepare for their future. So in a few years, they both want to go to medical schools to be doctors. And guess who's going to pay for their college? Well, my answer is, of course, they will, because that's what they learn from a very young age. From the age of 2, I taught them how to be self-reliant, how to be financially responsible. So they learn, and they heard from me many, many times that when they're ready to go to college, and they are the ones that's going to pay for it. So they are very, they're very happy about it. They are equipped about it because they have their own checking account. They have their 529 plan already in place. So they are good to go. And I think that is something that we get to teach our children, self-reliance. Instead of relying on, parents or the government or society, we get to teach them how to be self-supportive and self-reliant and also financially responsible from a very young age.
So your kids being 15, do you feel that your program has helped them already at 15 to be really conscientious and mature about money?
It's interesting that you asked me, because sometimes, out of blue, my kids come to me and say, Mom, what have you did when we were young? It seems like it's really working, because we noticed that we are very different from, many of our friends. In the way to approach money, in the way to do things with money. Like, at one time my kids said, Mom, when I have my own children in the future, I want to teach the same thing that you have taught us about money, right? So I can definitely see and feel that they see the effectiveness of that. And among their friends, they are considered money coach. A lot of their friends who have money but who don't do anything with it come to them and ask for it, like where to invest their money and things like that. So my kids are, money savvy enough to give them kind of sound advice about what to do with their money. So I believe that my kids are very well-rounded, money investing, and very happy teenagers. And it's not just a byproduct of like what happened overnight. I mean, it happened because of over a decade of training and discipline experience.
Everything you say, I totally believe in, and I see it in my own personal coaching business and everyone I'm surrounded with, and my past as well. And we as parents, there's no perfect manual, and we do the best that we can with what we have, and we make a lot of mistakes. But one thing I love about having these guests and learning different things is there's always a better and an easier way. And I really, really like everything that you teach. We're going to wrap it up. And if you could tell everybody how that they can get a hold of you, if they have questions, and how they can get your book and what's your website. If you would give that information, I would be really grateful.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful. Yes, of course. So the best way to contact me is through my website, moneymasterkids.co. And there's a way to contact me. And also, you can email me at sunny@moneymasterkids.co. And my book, Is Your Child a Money Master or Money Monster, is also available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And also, you can also purchase it through my website. And if you don't know how to contact me, just type Sunny Istar Lee, and I will show everywhere.
Well, you've been a fantastic guest, and I can't wait to have you back. And if anyone has difficulty getting a hold of her, you can always contact me at lifecoachingandbeyond.com. All of my information is there. And thank everyone for listening to the Revolutionize podcast. We will see you next time. And thank you again, Sunny.
Thank you, Peggy, for having me today. Have a wonderful day.